Season is upon us. Our women's basketball program gets their season underway on Thursday, and talk a little bit about that game and the season ahead. I'd like to bring up the head coach, Rick Insell, and then following him we'll have student athlete Ebony Rowe.
Thank y'all for coming today. Do you want me? Did you say open with a statement? We're pretty excited about this year right now. For a couple of reasons. We got everybody back, but we didn't feel like we played real well in the first round of the tournament against Vanderbilt, to be honest with you. We felt like we were a better basketball team than that, and with everybody coming back, we got a chance, this year to have something special, and I think all of our players would tell you that, and our coaching staff would tell you that. So, any questions?
Because you have girls that are coming back that have kind of been through this before and been through the tournament and all that, is it easier to kind of make the goals unsaid, unspoken, because they kind of know where they want to go?
I think our players will tell you that our goals really don't change. I think when you're recruited in here, from the get-go that our goal is to get to the Elite Eight with a chance to play to get into the Final Four. And I think all our players will tell you that. And when we recruit these young ladies in, that's what we tell them. As far as getting into the NCAA tournament, we've done that, but we've got to do a better job when we get there. We've got to win some games, and in winning those type games, that moves your program to another level, and that's what we're all about, is moving our program to another level. And in doing that, you got to win some games there.
Is there really anything during the regular season that you can do to affect what you do one day in March in the NCAA?
Well, I think we've tried to do that with our schedule, Adam. We are at a conference schedule. We try to make it as tough as we possibly can. I don't think there's a night that we can go out and feel like that we can take off, because some of those teams that we play, the Tennessee Techs, the Austin Peays, they're old OVC rivals, and we're their big game to come in and knock off Middle Tennessee. So those type games, we've got to be on point. We can't go in thinking that, that's going to be an easy game, and that's not what our philosophy or strategy is all about anyway.
This is your 8th year here. I remember a couple years ago when you had, very few girls coming back or women coming back, and you said, hey, we've got the same expectations this year as we would have any other year. This is a year where you have 10 returning lettermen, I think. So
that's right.
You've got everybody coming back. What's the difference between, in your mind, preparing for a season between when you guys went 16-0 in conference, you won 26 games, preparing a team like this that's so experienced and has a lot of high expectations coming in?
Dave, we've already talked about that, and the fact that we felt like we were a good team. Now we need to move this thing to where we're a great team. And to be a great team, you've got to go into the NCAA a little further than we've been going. Something that's within our reach is a 30-game win season, and very few teams get to that point. And we feel like that this basketball team that we've got this year, if we take care of business and improve and stay healthy, get a little luck, that we got a chance to do that. And that's something that we have talked about in practice.
This is the first season in a long, long time that this state hasn't had Pat Summitt at the helm at Tennessee. Is there an opportunity? Is it just a little bit different? I mean, does the season starting, I know they're not in your conference, but they're still in the same state. Is it different in any way in that regard?
Well, we're part of the women's basketball scene, and Pat Summitt was as big a part of that as anybody in the game. And, yes, it is sad, the fact that we are opening the year up across the country, and Pat's not part of that. But you can bet that she will always, always be part of that. Is the legacy that she's left, her footprints that she's left, and with the coaches around the country and programs around the country and the basketball in general, that's Pat will always be part of that forever and forever and forever. Not many people have won over 1,000 games, and and she didn't luck into doing that. I'll promise you that.
Rick, do you feel like that the biggest area of improvement on your team is going to be your inside game this year?
Well, I thought about tinkering with our lineup, but we won 26 games, so Ebony and Ice are just tremendous athletes, offensive and defensive players. They have come back with burn in their gut that they want to do more. Both are undersized as far as as far as height is concerned, not undersized as far as heart is concerned. And so with the leadership that they've already exhibited in practice, I'm excited. I'm telling you, I enjoy going to practice every day with this bunch. I told my coaching staff yesterday that it's going to be exciting this year to watch them play because they all have a burn. Thank y'all again.
Ebony, you'll come up, and Ebony will answer any questions you may have.
Ebony, when you look at you and Ice and Courtney all coming back, should there be a go-to girl, a team leader? Should there be one above the others?
I wouldn't necessarily say a go-to girl, but I would say that Coach expects us to bring leadership on the court. You know, like he says, coaches aren't going to be able to be on the court with us. So in game time situations, we need to make the decisions. We need to get people in the right place. And I wouldn't say it's one above the other. I feel like me, Courtney, and Ice all bring leadership just in different ways. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You get leadership from 3 different people instead of one.
Have you guys become accustomed to the pressure that should come into this? I mean, you didn't lose a conference game last year, so you can't be better in conference, I guess, by record. How have you guys dealt with the pressure? Have you just used to it by now?
I guess every year there's always pressure just from expectations, but I think it goes down to the fact that Coach has really been harping on we're playing against ourselves, and every day we're playing to get ourselves better, not playing against our opponents. So that's what we focus on. We don't really focus on what everyone expects us to do or what teams we need to play or beat. We just focus on how we need to get better.
Speaking of expectations and pressure, they come from all different areas. But do you guys ever get any tougher pressure than what you get from your own coach?
I was going to say, if y'all have been through any of our practices, I think that right there basically tops it off on the pressure that we're going to get. He expects a lot from us because he knows we're capable of a lot. So once you've been under Coach Insell, then no, I don't think any other pressure is worse than that.
I know it's not your sport, and this is a little bit of a change of gears. You're at Middle. Your parents are Western grads. Mm-hmm. Any phone calls this week?
I haven't gotten any yet, but I'm sure there'll be a couple Facebook messages left or a Facebook post left about the Western and Middle game. But most of my family there still votes. They still kind of go for Middle too. So.
About the difficulty in the non-conference scheduling, but also in the conference, I would assume at this point you're pretty much everyone's biggest game of the year in the league, and there's got to be some preparation in that as well, isn't there?
Right. I think that just goes back to what I was saying about pressure. We know going into it a lot of times we are going to be their biggest game, but we just can't focus on our opponent, whether we're playing somebody in our conference or we're playing a Kentucky or Xavier. We're just trying to go into every game with that mental aspect that we're playing against ourselves and we're playing to get ourselves better, and I think that kind of eliminates that pressure. Thanks.
All right, is Coach Insell